What's up, guys? It's ALLDAYANTHONY. Welcome back to the Civic vlog that you hopefully know and hopefully love. And in today's video, we're going back in time for a 50K subscriber special. Let's get started. It's ALLDAYANTHONY, and we are in the garage with the 99 Honda Civic. Alright guys, so I recently found a thumb drive that contained a ton of old Civic footage that I lost a long time ago. Now this is stuff back from 2017 from when I first got the Civic that I just never released. The Civic didn't really have the popularity back then, so I filmed some stuff that just never saw the light of day. Now some of these videos I started and just never finished, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe because I wasn't feeling it that day, or maybe I felt like it wasn't going to be that great of a video, but regardless, I still have some of that older footage. Some of the first footage from when I cleaned and detailed the interior of the car when it was covered in dog hair, as well as me trying to remove some of the window tint and replacing the brakes and a few other random tidbits of stuff. But I thought it'd be really cool for you guys to see now that the Civic has a little bit of a reputation on YouTube, and I know a lot of people like seeing where the Civic came from, obviously, to where it is now. And since we hit 50,000 subscribers, I think this is the perfect time to do it. And I do want to thank everybody for making that possible, because 50K is definitely a lot more than what I was at last year, and I think that is just super cool. So with that said, we're gonna roll the footage. I'm gonna chime in on voiceover from time to time just to kind of let you know what was going on, but keep in mind a lot of the stuff was just videos that never were finished, so if it just cuts off, that was the end of what I filmed, and I just never got around to filming more, and that just is what it is. But you'll obviously get to see where the Civic once was, and I think it's super cool. Now with that said, let's roll the footage. First thing on the Honda Civic Restore is the headlights. Okay, so this was the first video I ever took of the Honda Civic. This was actually the day that I brought it home, and it was in much need of a headlight restoration on the driver's side. Now, I just cannot drive something that has yellowed headlights, so this was the first thing that I had to do. Now, unfortunately, I didn't film any more to any of this. All I did was take an after picture that I'll show you here in a second, but this was pretty much all of the video that I took. I didn't take any type of polishing or anything, but fortunately, I do have a video on that that is way more recent, so you can check that out on the channel. But yeah, just enjoy the first video I ever took of the Civic. So this one's nice and clear. This one is oxidized as all hell. So I'm gonna wet sand it, see if I can polish it out with the Porter cable, and go from there. But I think it'll clean up well. What's up, YouTube? It's ALLDAYANTHONY, and we are in the garage with the 99 Honda Civic. All right, so time frame wise, this was about the third video I shot. This was right after I did the introduction video on the channel where I kind of introduced the Civic to you guys. I can tell that because the headlights are cleared up, but it still has the fender damage. But I do have the license plate on there and the registration done. So at this point in time, the interior was still covered in dog hair. It was still pretty gross, but the thing I needed to fix was the brake shudder. This was something I never posted up, but basically the brakes when I got the car were absolutely horrible and had a very dangerous shudder to them with the front calipers and the front rotors. So I ended up replacing those with a pretty cheap replacement, I would say. They were pretty affordable. I think like under $100 to do both fronts there with the brake pads and the rotors. But I started filming it and I just never got around to finishing it. I think I just wasn't feeling it this day, but we'll go ahead and just roll the rest of the video. If you guys watched my previous video, I mentioned that I needed to change the brakes and the rotors, mainly for the fact that the rotors are extremely warped and there's not much life left in the brakes. So I wanted to get this done before I start doing like the body work. I did get the fender in the other day. It was $35 shipped, which was awesome, and I got all the paint, so I'm just waiting for it to get a little warmer. I think it's like I don't know, it's probably what, 30 degrees outside right now, so it's still pretty cold. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing today. As far as tools you're going to need, most importantly, an energy drink to get you through the process, but you're going to need a jack to obviously get the car up, jack stand for safety. I do have the new rotors here, and and pads. They look pretty good. I mean, they were, I think 50 something bucks shipped, 60 bucks shipped from A1 Auto, so I was pretty pumped on that. So I got those. You're gonna need a breaker bar if you're having some pretty seized bolts. I have just my OEM wrench for the wheels. I have a torque wrench here, a 19 millimeter. You're also gonna need a 17 millimeter. You're gonna need a, if you have an impact gun, that's obviously half of these things you're not gonna need, but there is some Phillips heads on there that I guess are usually pretty seized up, so I picked this up from Harbor Freight. It was $8. It's basically an impact screwdriver, so when you hit the end with a hammer and you have it on the seized bolt, or I guess Phillips head, it's gonna crank it, basically push down on it and get it to where it turns. But yeah, it's a pretty cool little tool. All right, while the car's on the ground, we're gonna go ahead and start loosening the lug nuts. Not all the way, but just to where we can get them off once the car's up in the air. Just in case. All right, so with the wheel off, we can inspect the rotor. It's actually not that it's extremely worn down. It's not really got any, hasn't really had any lipping. It's just they're probably warped in one sense or the other. So anyways, let's go ahead and replace them. All right, and that was it. This was probably one video that I really wish I would have actually filmed the full thing on, because I thought that this would probably be helpful. But to be honest, this is probably my third time ever changing out brakes and rotors. I'd done it on my previous car in the Evo, but it was kind of like a refresher session for me anyway. So I don't think it would have been super helpful, but it would have been kind of cool to see for some people getting into this stuff and obviously looking for more affordable brake pad and rotor options. But anyways, the job turned out great. The brakes turned out awesome, and I've had no complaints almost 3 years later. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. What's up, YouTube? It's ALLDAYANTHONY, and I got the Civic out here because I am going to be working on a couple little things today. All right, so this was around the same time I did the brake video. It may have even been the same day, to be honest. I just don't remember. It's just been so long. So the goal of this video was to remove the old window tint. Now, the window tint that came with the car was purple and starting to bubble, and it looked absolutely hideous. And so I did want to remove that. Now, I know a ton of people have told me to retint my windows, and that is something I probably do want to do here in the next upcoming months, but this video was just a very DIY method of tint removal. I mean, I didn't even have the right style of steamer to do this with. I was using a closed steamer, whereas I probably should have used like a forced air steamer like the Macola 1275 that I have now, but I was just doing this on a budget, guys, so I just had this closed steamer, and I was using this on the windows, and it was super ghetto, but it ended up working out, kind of. I mean, it kind of worked. This and some razor blades end up getting most of the tint off, but it definitely wasn't a pretty job by any means. So I'll just let you guys watch me struggle here for a little bit. What I'm going to try to focus on today is removing this old window tint. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it has been completely scraped away. There's probably a dog in here that just went to town on it. So that's kind of what I'm going to do today. I'm going to remove all the window tint around it. I'm probably going to leave the sunroof on just because it's nice to have for now, until I can either get the car re-tinted, or maybe I'll just do like a DIY, like do it myself. I don't know, see how it comes out. I've never done tint before, but I think it would be pretty cool to learn. But anyways, so I looked up some other tutorials on YouTube, and a lot of people recommended picking up a steamer, which I found this Conair steamer on Craigslist for like, I think it was like 20 bucks or something like that, and is in good condition. And basically the idea is to steam the tint to get it really warm and hot, and then what you're going to do is just take like a razor blade and then kind of start peeling it away and then pull it back. So I'm going to try to do that and see how it turns out. But other than that, I still have a lot to do on the car. Brakes were the most important thing just because the shuddering was so intense. But yeah, so I'm going to focus on doing that. Next thing, I might pull up the seats and start to work on like restoring the interior, getting at least most of the dirt and hair out, because there's just a ton of hair. Dude, that's disgusting. I don't know if you guys can see that, but right up here, you can see where whoever had it before, like probably, yeah, a chick, I mean, she like wiped her makeup on the side of the seat. She probably like had it on her hand and then just like wiped it off. It looks like just a ton of foundation. So, dude, yeah, I have a lot to do with this thing just to get it back to like normal and being drivable up to my standards. I mean, I know it's not going to be the Evo by any means, but yeah, you guys can see it's like, dude, this is nasty. It's like a dog. I don't know what. It's disgusting because there's like some type of film on it. I don't know what that is, but there's sparkles everywhere. Everywhere I touch, there's sparkles. This had to have been like a makeup car where a chick just put makeup on. But got the Grom over here, took it for a spin. Just went around the block, and I don't know, it was fun. It's still just too cold. Like right now, I think it's like 36 degrees, so it's still pretty cold. But I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to remove this tint. That's gonna be the goal for the day. That's gonna be the easy goal. But yeah, all right, let's jump to it and let's start getting at it. Okay, so I got the steamer here. It is, dude, it's pretty hot. So I guess I'm just gonna start steaming away up here. What I'm gonna do is bring the window down. That's hot. That's really hot. Okay, this is a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. Holy crap. I thought this was gonna be much more difficult, to be honest. Dude, $20 steamer for the win. This is awesome. Just gonna keep yanking on this and just, I'll do this and work to another window. Oh damn it, it started tearing there. Oh well. All of the tint off for the most part. I need to wipe everything down, but the steamer actually worked pretty well. The only thing that sucked is that because the tint's so old, it didn't peel all the way, so I got some stuck kind of behind these seals here. So I'm just gonna kind of go back through and kind of pick them out with the razor blade. But dude, not bad. I'm actually pretty impressed with this whole little process. But I actually just got a call to go pick up the new wheels for the Civic. Don't get excited, they're nothing special, but there's some 5-spoke American Racing, just not the best looking, but they have tires and that's all that matters, so I can get off these studded Steelies that I'm on right now. They have studded snow tires on them. I want to get off them so I can save them for next winter. But yeah, I'm just gonna pick out the rest of this and then probably take off. What's up YouTube, it's ALLDAYANTHONY, and I am here with the Civic today to attempt something I've never done before. And that couldn't be more true. So this video is all about paintless dent repair, or PDR as some call it, and it went pretty bad, and it wasn't good. I picked up a glue pulling kit off of Amazon for pretty cheap and wanted to attempt to do some of these dents myself around the car. And to be honest, I probably just made them worse. In some of my recent videos, you'll know that I did have a professional PDR job done by a guy named Eric, and he did an absolutely killer job. This was just me kind of just trying to get my feet wet and see if this was for me, and it just absolutely wasn't. So unfortunately, I didn't film myself doing any of the PDR. I just kind of talked about the kit, talked about the dents, the things I wanted to practice on, and like I said, it just went horribly wrong. So just enjoy me struggling, but just check out the dents on the car, look at the condition the car was in. You could see at this point I had some new wheels on the car, and these were a pretty temporary American racing wheel I had on there for a couple months. So as you guys know, the Civic's in rough shape. It's not looking too great right here. And so I plan on doing some body work to it. I'm going to paint quite a bit on it. I'm going to paint this fender here, not this one, but I have a new fender. I'm going to repaint that and color match it. I picked up some primer, a color matched base coat that I ordered, and then some 2K clear coat. So I think if I do it right, it should look pretty good. However, I need to do everything in one big run when I do attempt that, because I also need to blend this right here, because I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's got a nice little crease in this, and it's missing most of the paint. And when I went to go polish out this extra paint transfer right here, I ended up actually taking off some of the clear coat. So I'm going to try to blend that. I've never blended before, but that's something I plan on doing. But before I do any of that major like paint work, what I wanted to do is I wanted to get the car back to like a square one of what I consider clean, and the biggest portion of that is actually removing a lot of these dents. So there's quite a few dents on the car, this one in particular, just because that one transferred over to there. And I wanted to attempt PDR. Basically, I've never done PDR. I had PDR done on the Evo before, but the people that actually do that for a living, they're pros, obviously. They do that, and they go back in between the panel and they push the dent out from the backside, and they have special tools for that, which I don't trust myself doing that. So as you can see, there's quite a few little dings and dents. It's kind of hard to tell, probably on the GoPro, but there's a few. There's not really much on this side. There's one right here on the fender. I don't know if you can, it's kind of like, if I mess up, it's like it's not going to get any worse. As long as I don't pull the paint off, I think it'll be a success if I can take out any of these. So like I said, I've never done this before. I'm going to attempt it, see how it goes, and just kind of bring you guys along in the process, and maybe you guys can do it yourself. If I can do it, then you could do it, basically. So yeah, I think let's go ahead and let's get started. All right, so I just removed some of the interior panels here, the seats in the Civic. All right, so this is probably going to be the most interesting part of this entire video here, which was the state that my car was in when I first got it, and how much freaking dog hair and trash was hidden in this car. It was absolutely disgusting, and I've tried to elaborate on this in my previous videos and try to explain how bad the car was when I got it. And to be honest, this was actually after I vacuumed it a few times. This is my first deep clean job that I did. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely horrible. And so this is the footage that I should have probably showed you guys a long time ago, but never found until now. So hopefully this gives you a really good idea on how hammered the interior of my car was and how much work I had to do to get it to where it is today. Just take a look at all the coins and pennies and stuff like that. I do a pretty good job talking through this video, and I'm not sure why this one never got posted, because this was probably the most interesting out of all of them. But hey, that's what I'm doing today, and just enjoy. You can see, dude, freaking disgusting. This is absolutely sick. A lot of this stuff's just tools and whatnot, but I mean, the amount of dog hair and dirt and just, I don't even know what this stuff is. It's just, I think that could very well be shit. I'm not sure. Just absolutely disgusting. A lot of these seats are just covered in hair and a lot of other stuff. Get everything cleaned out, but I mean, yeah, just interior restoration. Gonna be using a couple different things, lots of brushes, Optimum carpet and fabric cleaner. See if I can bring this carpet back to life. Quick update, I took out more interior panels, and freaking sick, dude. The stains in here are absolutely terrible. Shifter console, I took out all that over there. It's gonna get a thorough vacuum. I'm not gonna actually take out these seats. I can do that another time. I'm just going to pop off this next plastic piece right here. See what else I can do, but yeah, gonna keep at it. This is pretty freaking sick. Okay, so another update. I've been vacuuming. I'll show you guys this. So these carpets are beyond neglect. They're not the worst I've ever seen. I've seen way worse, but the thing is there's tons of just dog hair, and it's just causing just the worst stench and smell, and or I guess those are the same thing. But anyway, so a cool trick I've been using for a while now to remove dog hair is a pumice stone. So this is just your typical pumice stone you'd get at Lowe's or Home Depot. What I do is basically take it and just lightly I'm not scraping, I'm just kind of lightly applying pressure and kind of just sweeping it up, if that makes sense. And so this has probably been one of the best tricks I've learned to getting all the hair out. You're going to leave behind some residue, and there is some pumice stones that are meant specifically for hair removal so they don't piece off and leave little dust trails behind, but this works pretty well for what it is. But I'm gonna have to do this to pretty much the entire carpet. I'm gonna be here a while doing this, basically scooping up all the dog hair as much as I can, and then once it's lifted, the vacuum will pick it up just fine. But yeah, like I said, this is just absolutely sick. In a lot of these areas, the dog hair won't even pull. So keep you guys updated on this. Like, I really didn't think this was gonna be this big of a project, and I started pulling out all the panels, and then I just basically, like, this person, whoever owned this car, they must have been a banker or something, because they've been leaving a lot of oil, or not oil, coin slips, like, you know, you pack your coins in. There's a ton of them. There was like 50 all over the car, but they were all empty, but there was coins kind of around. I probably found a total of like maybe $1. But this is a person that probably just spilled soda, spilled coffee, spilled everything. Their dog probably shit in the car, and they probably just left it. They didn't do anything about it. That's probably just the kind of person it was. However, it's funny because they're also the type of person that would probably pay a ton of money for somebody at the dealership to basically tell them that their entire engine needs a bunch of work, because like I said, the engine is flawless on this car. It drives better than any Civic I've ever sat in, for that part. But I mean, as far as the interior, they just neglected it. It's terrible. And like I said, I've been dying to do this, so this is so I'm actually having a good time, because I know that I won't be sitting in this stuff anymore. All right, till the next update. Okay, so quick update again. I pulled the receipt out. I wasn't really planning on doing that, but there was so much dog hair around the outside of it that I needed to. So I pulled the seat out, and here's to give you an idea on what you'll find after removing a seat. After, gosh, probably 10 years. I don't think this has ever been cleaned before. But yeah, I'm really just gonna vacuum it up. I'm not really too worried about it. But I mean, I just want to get most of the dirt and dog hair out. But I found 2 pens. Actually a good pen right here. Pretty decent pen. But anyways, yeah, there's the fuel pump. So if I ever wanted to upgrade that for some whatever god reason, then that's where I'd do that. But the seat is out. Oh crap, my back. I got this side vacuumed though. Look how much better that looks. Looking really good compared to that. But the seat's out. This is what I was talking about. all of that. Wanted to get that out and then, yeah, really spray the crap out of that because that's pretty disgusting. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, super gross. All right, and the cleaning continues. All right, so it is now much later in the day, but I made a ton of progress. So yeah, carpets are done to the best of my ability. Keep in mind I don't have a carpet extractor, and I'm pretty sure any major stain left over is either oil, acid, or something along those lines. But yeah, it cleaned up super well. I mean, I'm pretty happy. I think a combination of O&R, Power Clean, the Optimum Fabric and Carpet Cleaner, it really, yeah, it did a lot of work. I mean, took forever. took a lot of scrubbing, but I think it really paid off. So trying to get the seats back in and get everything sewed back up. All right, and it's finished up. Okay, so this video was the last I was able to find out of all that lost footage there. And this was just the wrap up to that detail job for that day. And based on the video, you can tell that I already did my ghetto paint job session where I painted the fender, the door, the side skirts, and kind of all of that. But I think the car cleaned up pretty good, especially from where it was. Looking back, it's kind of disgusting how long I went with letting all that hair and all that crap sit in the interior as I drove around. I mean, that's pretty gross, but hey, it is what it is. I think shortly after this is when I ended up installing the LS webs, and then a little bit after that I installed the spoiler, and unfortunately I wasn't able to find any video footage from any of that, which kind of sucks. But yeah, this was the last video that I took, so let's roll it. Well, most of it. I didn't get the dash or the steering wheel, but all of the carpets and seats and everything else are back inside. It's kind of hard to see, but seats, back carpets, yeah. All right, guys, and that is it. That was the old footage of my Honda Civic. Now, I know it was nothing crazy or nothing super special, but it was more of a nostalgia thing for me to find and post that, and hopefully for you guys as well to see really where this Civic came from. A lot of those first videos I shot were just a shot in the dark, mainly to see if anybody would even watch them, and I would have never imagined that back then this car would be where it is now with the following that it has now, and it is just super cool to see, and I'm just super thankful for all 50,000 subscribers, and I hope you guys enjoyed that little bit. Now, there is still a lot left to do on my Honda Civic, and I have a couple of awesome videos in the pipeline for some future installs and other things like that. So if you guys like this content and want to see more of my Civic, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, subscribe down below for more so you don't miss any of my future Honda Civic videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is ALLDAYANTHONY. Peace!